Wow. Thank you for joining us for Let's Talk. I am your host, Stephanie Anthony, and we're in the midst of a good time. We had some technical difficulties, but hopefully that's a thing of the past. If you will, let me know if you're out there. You can click on the chat and let me know that all is well. Now, when we left, of course, I'll let you know that the question trivia that we were dealing with was regarding President Obama. Yes. And where is his name found in the Bible? Now, that's only open to people not connected with 247praiseradio.com, WTQT Power 106.1 FM, or the Let's Talk Show. So if you got an answer, don't be shy. Go on and put it in there. And we had a wonderful time during Black History Month. At least I did. Each of I gave birth to 4 children. You know I love chickens. That was my reminder to drink water. I don't know if it's happened to you or not, but sometimes I find that I have gone all day. I'm dragging and I don't feel very good. And that's because I haven't had my proper amount of water. And I did not realize really how not only refreshing is water, but necessary for us to keep going. And sometimes, of course, I love the Java. So I'm all day sipping, and it's not quenching my thirst. So I find that if I give myself a little reminder, then I can, you know, I will be able to drink water and not only have more flexibility, but feel better and have more energy. You're tuned to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony. And during Black History Month, each of my 4 children interviewed me. And it wasn't my idea. It was, they got together with that and they felt that I had some nuggets of history, nuggets that have become history. You know, who knew that I would get this old? Or that would have known as many people as I got to know, and that I would have experienced so many things that don't exist anymore. I know some of y'all, girl, you call that getting old, but they call it being historic. So I'm going to replay some of those as time goes on. And if you like, you can just go back. You can, uh, do a search on the internet or on Yahoo or Facebook for our Black History broadcast. All is well in the capital city, and I want to share something with you. As you know, Black History Month just ended, and now we're in Women's History Month. And I thought there's no better thing to share with you but this outstanding book. And it's called Louisiana Leading Ladies. And this is the inaugural publication. And it's done by our illustrious publisher, Reverend Ivory D. Payne. And it is, an outstanding uh, publication. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in it, but there are so many women who are just fabulous, outstanding in the past and in the present, that have done so much for our community. And it is divided off into different sections of, so you can see how they are um, divided off. But I just wanted to say that it's done by Leaders Publication, and we're gonna fix it so that I can post some of these pictures so that you can just a few of the pages now. You'll have to contact them, or if you know someone with a copy, they might let you have hands on it. But I think that this is going to go down for generations as the publication to um, the go-to publication on Black women in Louisiana. And they're shoot just the they have our mayor, and she did the forward, and that's Mayor Sharon Weston Broom, and in fact, she used to teach Black history at Southern University. The introduction is by Senator Regina Ashford Barrow, and there's Councilwoman Shauna Banks and State Representative Barbara West and New Orleans Mayor Latoya Cantrell. Just who's who, baby. We out there. And I see that Facebook is sending me a warning again um, that it is not posting. But if that's accurate, then I'll go to my YouTube and just bring it over, and you can see it. Anyway, the cover picture, the cover uh, shows a picture of Sadie Roberts Joseph, and there's a special tribute inside. And I was just very touched by that. For those of you who may not know, Sadie Roberts Joseph, I'll tell you about my experience with Sadie Roberts Joseph. Sadie Roberts Joseph, when I first met her, she was very tiny, and she had uh, a dynamic go-to personality and demeanor. And I first met her on the steps of the state capitol here in Baton Rouge, and she was running for Congress. And you wouldn't have picked a more unlikely individual in appearance, but in fire. She really I had it, and she's kind of stuck in my mind. Now, of course, that is an office that takes a lot, but um, like Annie Smart before her, she had the guts to jump out into deep water and take on a major running for a major office without major financing in order to bring her platform to the forefront. Anyway, time passed, and I saw her from time to time at people's gatherings, meetings, so forth and so on. And I can't remember which came first, but at some point or the other, she started. Oh, I know what it was. Her church was New St. Luke Baptist Church here in Baton Rouge. And they had a Black History program, which they call the Odell Williams, uh, you know, program. And they, it was an education piece on Black inventions and contributions to the community. So these they would do every year. And eventually, the things that they took to um, show went on permanent, sort of semi-permanent residence there in the church, so that people could pass in this area and see the collection of things that Black people had invented, or famous Black people, or Black people we really should know. And this went on for some time. And in fact, it was her signature piece, which became the Odell S. Williams uh, Museum. And she obtained a bus and a building, and took over under the expressway with displays of free states and other such things, slave states, and other materials of instruction under the breezeway. She even uh, grew planted some cotton, so that folks could, little kids especially, could see what it looked like in the wild, what it looked like growing. I came across this. This is the publisher's photo, and that's Reverend Ivory D. Payne, the publisher and CEO. Now you might say he looks too young to be that kind of publisher, but he's a man of foresight. And in here it says, for he his scripture is, for we walk by faith, not by sight. Second Corinthians, the 5th chapter and the 7th verse. And um, so this is the inside picture of Sadie Roberts Joseph. And it is so wonderful. The story was done by Laura Ashley, and she um, that names the tribute, across racial lines. The community can't help to build a better Baton Rouge, a better state, and a better nation. The community can help to build a better Baton Rouge, a better state, and a better um, nation. She says, Sadie Roberts Joseph, activist, educator, leader, and fighter. But she was also a sister, a daughter, a mother, friend, and aunt to all who met her. So it's an outstanding um, article by Laura Ashley. She's got solid skills, and it's good to see. I'm just going to give you just a little tidbit from there, because I want you to get it for yourself. And you can contact um, Reverend Ivory D. Payne at the Baton Rouge Weekly Press, or at 247praiseradio.com, about the details of this tribute to Sadie Roberts Joseph, and the details of the book itself, and how it can most easily be obtained. And if he posts that, I see he's with us or was. If he's on and would post that in the chat, then I will read it out loud for our radio listeners. So in the tribute, it says Roberts was the fifth child out of 11 children of sharecropper parents from Woodville, Mississippi. The activists attended the historically black college, Southern University A&M College, and um, studied education and speech pathology. She was further into her knowledge and decided to also work for many years as a certified respiratory therapy technician. However, growing up in the era of crack, being brought up in the neighborhood and seeing kids selling drugs, Sadie wanted to change the neighborhood and the perspective of kids' minds. She recognized that the people had lack of their own culture, and because of this void, they were inspiring to be lower of what they could than what they could be. After many years as a respiratory therapy technician, she decided to move to an area where her voice might be heard and history might be learned in the Black community. That was written by Laura Ashley, and I don't know, she may have a web page as well, but uh, you need to find out more about this publication. It is outstanding, and you can find out more by contacting the publication at www.leaderspublication.com. That's leaderspublication.com. Or you can call 227 775 2002. That's 225 775 2002 to find out more about Sadie Roberts Joseph and the publication. And for those who um, may know, that Sadie was murdered in a senseless, brutal killing here in Baton Rouge. And some of you may know some of the parties involved, or if you do, feel free to share information on the murder trial, any information you might have that you'd like to share, the murder trial, and I will share um, information on her museum and what goes on now that may not be in this publication, but that'll be down the line during Black History Month. It has been a pleasure so far talking and sharing with you. I'm going to give you a little more of that African djembe, and I want you to feel free to like, share, and then we'll talk a little bit about Louisiana Democracy Project and about our membership drive. Let's see if we can make this happen. Oh no. Well, all right. Everybody's always saying, "Oh, Stephanie, you're so good with technology." It's not true. I'm lucky sometimes. The djembe is the lead drum. It's usually used as solos or in dancing, and it's a very dynamic drum. One of my favorites. If you will, take a listen. We are back with Let's Talk. I love African drums. In fact, some years ago, we did an African drum workshop in which drum master Kenyatta Simon did the whole workshop, which was, if memory serves, 6 weeks. And he was out of New Orleans, had studied in Africa, and we made four Junes, and we made a series of shakeries, and each child that participated made a shakeré, and we had a wonderful big um, ending program at Polk Elementary, which is now Eva Lagarde Elementary, and we had a wonderful time. I have been in love with African drums before and since, and now. And so I'm going to suggest that you relax sometimes, with some smooth African drums, or you can, after your prayers in the morning, you can put on those African drums, and man, oh man, it'll get you. You'll start moving. You'll start limbering up. Yep. Now, for those of you who need motivation to exercise, that would be my suggestion, that you know, Google yourself some African drum music and go for it. Of course, I prefer the African drum music, the solo, and I hope that you were able to see the artist that we were just listening to. Um, I cannot pronounce his 16 letter name. So, charge it to my head, not my heart, because I think that he is absolutely fabulous. Also, at that workshop that we held by Kenyatta Simon, he had a little son that was about 4 years old that had a little baby djembe that he could set it on fire playing. And I know that he's a man by now, and but I don't remember little master drummer Simon's real name. If you know who I'm talking about, click in and let me know. All right. If you know him, as I understand, he's still in New Orleans, in the greater New Orleans area. And someone told me that he's still playing, but I don't have any details. So, if you got some details, you need to click me into it so that we will be able to resume contact. You're listening to Let's Talk. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony, and we thank you so much for joining us. Listen, for those of you who have a sweet tooth, we just passed Valentine's Day. And back in the day, I used to save my Valentine's candy till almost Easter. And my high school boyfriend told me, because he'd give me a big box of candy. My daddy would give me a big box of candy. Um, and I would pick to open one and I put the other one in the freezer. And so I guess after the second year we had been talking, he was like, "Look, I buy this big box of candy, but we're supposed to sit on the sofa and enjoy it together." I was like, "Oh, really?" That thought never crossed my mind. So, for you all that think like me, I like to save my Valentine's Day candy. Well, I've gotten older, and nobody don't give me no candy no more. I guess I have the girth to prove that candy is not a best. Wow. Um, Ivory D. Payne says that Valentine's Day was his birthday. Oh my goodness. I bet you couldn't be stopped. You were probably collecting cake and candy 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. Man, oh man. Who knew? I did not know that you were a Valentine's baby. Uh, belated happy birthday, and may all sweetness be surrounding you for the rest of your life. And we ask God to bless you and bless everyone who blesses you. All right. God bless. Mhm. I was telling you a little bit about my candy journey this year. I got a lot of wonderful things this year. In fact, my Valentine's Day kind of looked like Christmas. But the one thing I didn't get was no candy. So I was in the, well, a corner store, not a corner store, but actually it used to be a drugstore. Now it's like they call themselves a dollar store, but it's more like a $5 store. Anyway, they had put all the chocolate on sale. So I got myself, this was last week now, this giant box of premium chocolate. Now, I don't know who it's made by. They're not one of my sponsors, but I want you to know, I want to brag on my self-control because I have not opened this box of candy which I obtained last Saturday. So, um as I looked at the box, and it was, it was very large, and it said it had 30 pieces of candy, and it was 75% off. So I could not, let me say it again, could not pass that deal. So this box of chocolate, which is making its debut for the first time, it will see the light of day since it left the factory. And I want to see what 30 pieces they gave me. Oh, uh-oh. Some of it's stuck. But it's okay, I do believe. That's caramel. I know that one. Where'd it come from? Now I'm not trying to tempt those people that's on a diet or anything like that, but I'm gonna taste this. That caramel, chocolate and caramel is a combination that cannot be beat. It's good. It was worth the 75% off. Now this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take out the two pieces that got cracked up. I'm gonna eat those. I'm gonna put the other 28 pieces in the freezer. Now, my plan is to get myself one piece for the next, how many I say, 28? For the next 28 days, that'll be my treat to myself. Because I have met a chocolate I didn't like, but I don't think it's in this box. And I'm going to say to you all out there, do not overindulge and go buy yourself some chocolate from the Valentine's 75% off. They might be 85% off by now, if there are any left, and think that you have to consume the whole box. No, 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 I say. What you have to do is get yourself a piece and then make yourself long for the next piece for the next day. And maybe you can motivate yourself by saying things like, as soon as I finish vacuuming, then I'm going to have my chocolate for the day. Or maybe yours is, as soon as I finish talking to my mother-in-law for the third time today, I am going to have my piece of chocolate. Let me tell you, that chocolate is going to taste so delicious. Or whatever. But for me, that's my leftover after February treat for myself. Now, you might say, Stephanie, I thought when you're over at Emmanuel Aid, you're always giving healthy tips. Yes. And one of my healthy tips is do not overindulge. Train yourself. You do not have to, and that, that's such a terrible thing for us women. And that is that we just will first of all, we overstress ourselves. Then we overwork ourselves. Next, we over dramatize things that's in our world. Then we overeat, especially on stuff that's not 100% great for our physique or our hearts or our physical disabilities, which includes, obesity and diabetes. So we don't want to we don't want to do that. We want to reward ourselves by, taking a little, a little break and giving ourselves a little reward. Uh, From Payne is saying, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. I am speaking deliciousness into, yeah, I hear you. I'm speaking deliciousness into every piece of chocolate that's in this giant box that I'm going to be consuming one at a time, one day at a time during Women's History Month. And I don't know now if they have said that it is Women's History Month or it's just Women's Month. Whatever, it is a time for us to celebrate our womanliness. And I want to say one thing before we leave off, that women are exciting, wonderful, skillful, smart people. And right now, uh, we are letting the video Jezebels of 20th century teach our children about what it means to be a woman. And it's not true. It's a lie from the pits of hell, basically put in place to get our daughters to go astray and to ruin and waste their lives. And we all know that anything based on physical attributes will not last, because a woman's wisdom and knowledge in cannot be portrayed in by wiggling her butt on the internet. They got the babies doing it, with to questionable, and I do mean questionable, lyrics that are designed to inflame and degrade. And so we have to take in our spot back, that uh, while you are in the pre-motherhood stage, you do not have to present or um, act like you're a slut. You can be beautiful and not have your body exposed to lusting evil eyes. You can uh, have graceful, good movement to your body without getting up there and doing mating rituals. That there is a place for ladies, and our daughters should be ladies, and we've got to instruct, help uh, our young women and give them a heads up that being a lady is a blessed thing. And you want a man that's going to treat you like a lady. You don't want to throw yourself out like there like a rag that has been used all over and is full, saturated with dirt to be a representation of womanhood. Now, this is important for several reasons. One, the rest of the nation thinks of, not the nation, the rest of the world thinks of American women as the loosest, the worst, the great harlots of the world. That's how they view us, because that is how the media is projecting us. And that's how we are projecting ourselves through our young women. We got to sit them down and tell them this is not for your good. All of this that you see is so somebody else can make a dollar, and that you are too smart, too pretty, too with it to sell yourself short. Now, how much money does it take in order for you to go out there and disgrace yourself? No amount of money. They can't buy you. And I'm telling you, every last one of those women out there that's stripped to the bone and being as provocative and as nasty as she could possibly be, none of those women are truly any happier than than a decent woman. Now, in 2023, it might be considered old hat to be a decent woman. But let me tell you something. You're fewer and farther between, which means that you're more and more precious. You can look out there at the others and say, oh, another one bites the dust. And what is the dust? Getting strung out there on illicit drugs or even legal drugs, because you so miserable with what you're doing and how you presenting yourself and how far short you are of the mark, that you got to dull your mind and your senses in order to enable yourself to go on. That's number one. Number two, you're out there so far short of the goals that you set for yourself as a little girl. You're being so used that you can barely face yourself. And so you're bound up in a ball of depression, unable to truly function, going like a robot through life because you are not the person that you intended to be or that God intended you to be. And three, you're leading others astray, making them think that this way of being is good, that the attention that you're receiving is good, that people are looking at you and they're seeing good. You have lied with your actions and had others to begin to fall into the pit that you have fallen in. And that's not right. So, old women, we want to say to you, go on and speak as loudly as you can, as often as you can to the generation of women who are right behind you, right beside you, coming up, looking for, looking for the future, looking towards the future. Show them the right way. Don't be embarrassed to tell them. And encourage them always before you get ready to make some step that you go to God in prayer. Ask for his guidance and do that at all times. Amen. Just whatever the problem, whatever the challenge, whatever the situation that's before you, ask God about it and then wait for an answer. Don't ask God about it and then quickly go jump up and go do something that God didn't tell you to do. Move when the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, says move. You're listening to Let's Talk, and those have be my parting words for this edition of the first week in women's history. And because, of course, women, the hands of the woman rocks the cradle of the world. So we want to make sure that our hands are doling out truth this year and for all the years to come. Let me tell you a little bit about our time for membership drive here at Louisiana Democracy Project. Membership is just $25 a year. We encourage you to get on board. Not only does Louisiana Democracy Project produce this program, but it supports many programs throughout the community. And our membership fee is not much for the year, and it will greatly be appreciated. God bless you and keep you till next time. I wonder if we can find some more of that African drum stuff. I wonder. No, 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 no. Well, God bless and keep you. Remember our trivia question. It's from last month's Black History thing. Where in the Bible will you find President Obama's name? Where in the Bible will you find President Obama's name? God bless and keep you. Till next time, let's talk.